Yeah.
Okay.
Hi,
Thank
Riley.
you. Hi.
It's nice to
Hi.
meet you.
Yeah, it's very nice to meet you as
Thank
well.
you.
So, thank you so much for taking the time to come to Metro today to answer some questions for our podcast.
Coming to Metro is always easy for me to do.
Okay, can you start us off by telling us what originally brought you to Metro?
I originally came to Metro. My aunt was a principal in Cedar Rapids, and I had been with a theater company at the University of Iowa, and I was taking a break from being a student and literally just needed a job. And my aunt said, they're looking for an associate over at Metro High School, and I think you would really like it. I'd been with a theater company that had been traveling around the country performing in prisons. So I had just come off performing in 50 different prisons around the country, and living in a campsite in a school bus was what this theater company was. It was just a bunch of people from the University of Iowa. And I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I had just been doing something that was very theatrical and also had sort of a social work bend to it. And she was talking about Metro as being this really incredibly dynamic school. And it was, it was, if you're going to get a job, as I was just looking for any kind of a job, why not have it mean something? So I thought, sure. And came over to Metro. I interviewed with Joyce Jean Blank, who had started the Baketeria program, who I wound up working with the entire time that I was at Metro, and loved it right away. Actually, I'd performed here too when it was split between two campuses. I performed at Metro, Metro West, which, if you don't know, was one of the buildings on the other side of town, not too far from Jefferson. And so I knew a little bit about Metro, so it was a great fit for me.
So you mentioned the Baketeria program. Could you elaborate upon that a little
Yeah, the
bit?
Baketeria program, Joyce started it. She had her home ec was her background. She wanted to have a program where she could have different skill sets get put through one program that had sort of, you could see the outcome that was exciting for students. It was hands-on for students who didn't want to maybe get all of their math or language arts or some of the other academic stuff done just in a conventional classroom setting, but to have it work through. You can learn math through baking. You can learn language arts skills through baking if you have a business that you put together, which is what she did. The Baketeria was a business. It was a bakery, which then also became a bakery and a catering. And we also had a restaurant too, which was Room 2. I don't know if it's still called Room 2. It's behind the kitchen area, that classroom.
That's right.
So it was a hands-on way to get some of the conventional academic stuff satisfied through a way that pulled more students in than might have been otherwise.
Yeah. So, Metro High School is called an alternative school for a lot of reasons. Students have a chance to earn credits without being assigned grades, and each student is connected with a teacher as their advisor. In your own words, can you tell us what makes Metro different, what makes Metro alternative?
I used to always, and I haven't been around Metro for a very long time, but as I remembered it and lived it, I always told people students are successful in their own way. And for students who weren't finding success for whatever reason, and there were a lot of different reasons, although there were some commonalities, but for whatever reason they may not have been successful in whatever school they were at, we needed to find a way that was personalized to them, because everybody wanted to do well. There was something in their way. So what can we do to get past that? And it started with that personal relationship with the student. I'm not going to be Mr. Schulte. I'm going to be Scott, and you're you. And now we're talking like we've got a relationship. It's not sit there, I will talk, you write, test is tomorrow. Not that that's the way it was anywhere else, but I'm just saying, it was a way of finding what made that person work and what was behind that person's roadblocks, and how can we work together to get you, what schools are supposed to provide, which is the chance to get your degree, to get the information you want, to develop some skills that you want to develop, and then go on to that next step. And Metro did an amazing job of that. It was whatever each student needed it to be, in my opinion. So we did offer, and it played to the strengths of the teacher. So if there was a teacher that had a real excitement level about something, if I loved photography, I could start a photography class and get kids, good teachers have excitement that spills over and gets students excited. So whatever that was, you can get a student to buy into what you're doing, and that's when the learning can then begin. Once you get them to want to come to school and want to be there and want to open up and go, I do want to learn, how are we going to do this? That's the magic of Metro to me.
Yeah. So, throughout the years, Metro has had unique opportunities for its students. Can you describe one or two of your favorite Metro classes or events that you know of?
Of opportunities for students, you mean?
Yeah. Metro, the events, like there's the
Oh, well,
canoe trip and everything.
yeah, the outdoor stuff was always great. I never participated in it, but I always thought that was amazing. They'd go to the Boundary Waters, and we'd see the tents get put up into in the gym afterwards to dry them out and stuff. And I thought those trips were amazing. The garden was amazing. I thought our program was very unique and pretty amazing. We put a theater component into it, so we would do dinner theater shows, and to see the students buying in at so many different levels, and to take ownership to where they cared about the outcome as much as you did, and you're like, this is true teamwork. So those are just some samples of events that we did that I thought were amazing. But anything anybody did, whether it was through the art or dance or the daycare, anything that got the students to buy in was a huge success and was amazing to me.
Yeah. There's tons of classes. Shannon actually now has a career connections class in room 2 that I'm a part of, and we go out every Tuesday and Thursday and tour businesses and colleges around.
So you seem like a great example to me of what Metro does right. You've only been here, you said, a couple of months.
Yeah.
You seem completely bought in. I don't know your story. I don't know you, Riley, but I love the fact that you're already running this interview 2 months into being here. Obviously, you're finding a place for yourself here, right?
Yeah.
To me, that this is the best of what Metro does. The fact that you and I are sitting here having this conversation 2 months into your education here.
Yeah. Wouldn't be here in this spot if it weren't for the great teachers,
That's what this place is about. And they wouldn't be here, without you. So it works.
Yeah.
It does work.
So, did Metro change your life in any way?
Without question. I know more about people. I have much bigger empathy for people that are, that have obstacles. Because I didn't have as many obstacles as some of the students that I had. And what I learned about families and about what goes right and what goes wrong, and that everybody wants the stuff that a lot of people take for granted, it amazed me and changed me in a lot of ways. And it made me, it humbled me in a lot of ways. But it was mostly just so many great stories of so many people wanting to better themselves.
Yeah. So, is there any advice that you can give to current Metro students?
Buy into something. I think this is really advice that I would give to any student, because it's not just Metro. It's not. It's find a place that you belong in that building. You gotta have some kind of home base where you can go, I can be myself in there, or I can start to find myself in there. I can talk to that person, that teacher or that associate or that custodian. I don't care who it is in the building. They all are a team. And if you can find somebody that you could talk to and find a place that you can feel like you belong in that building, I think everything else starts to take care of itself. So that's my advice: is first try to find, and you got to be open to trying stuff to be able to do that. But to try to let your guard down a little bit and find a place to be. And then work your way out.
So I believe my final question for you today is, what advice, if any, could you give to current Metro staff?
Keep looking at every student, even the ones that maybe push your buttons a little bit. Find that thing in every student that you encounter. Don't forget why you're here. Don't forget what brought you here. And make that connection with them if you can. And realize that, they may have had a really bad day before they got to your classroom. And that you need to continue to be one of the things that really went right with their day. Never let that's a privilege. A reminder that that's a privilege.
Well, once again, thank you for coming out and taking the time to be interviewed by us.
It was my
nice
pleasure.
to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too, Riley, and good luck with your academic endeavors here at Metro.
Thank you.